So you probably clicked on this video because you have a Logitech G driver shifter like me and you want to modify it. For the price point, I think the Logitech G920 and its shifter are pretty good, but they're not perfect. One of the biggest complaints about my setup is that the Logitech shifter just feels very, very cheap. The shifting is very light and it doesn't really feel like a real car. So I went ahead and ordered up a Logitech shifter mod that will stiffen up the shifter much like a shifter bushing would in a real car. I also ordered an adapter that will allow me to put any shift knob that I want onto the shifter. And then last but not least, I have a set of Throtl's brand new shift knobs. There's 6 different kinds, 2 in floral yellow, which are aluminum, and then 4 in Delrin in white or black, and then each color has a long or short option. I haven't decided which one I'm going to run yet. I'm going to go ahead and install the adapters and install each shift knob and see which one I like the best. But all the throttle shift knobs are available on throtl.com right now, so if you are interested, I'll leave a link in the description and you can go ahead and check them out for yourself. First step here is going to be to pry off the shift knob shifter pattern sticker thing. Next you want to take your screwdriver and unscrew the little screw that holds in the shift knob. Next we're going to remove all the Allen bolts that hold in the shift boot. Alright, now this little surround should just pop off. There we go, didn't even need to use the pry tool. So now I'm gonna put it in neutral. Gonna drop this guy on right over and it falls right into place. And then the second piece goes over, just like that, in between the 2 little pieces of foam. So I don't know if you can see, so there, it adds a little resistance here up and down. And it seems that this outer ring adds a little bit of resistance in the side-to-side motion. And now I'm going to put the boot back on, pretty much the way I took it off. Okay, now it's time to install the shifter adapter. This one that I bought is already threaded to the same threaded pitch as the original screw that held in the original shift knob. See, there's little cutouts here. That's why I can fit a wrench around it. Let me grab a wrench. And then I'm gonna finish tightening it with this little 8mm tight. So this thread pitch that I bought is an M10 by 1.25. So that's the shift knob collar that I got from Throtl. The logo, I like it facing me, so I'm gonna turn this back actually just a little bit. That's what this little locking screw is for that the kit comes with. I'm just gonna thread this guy in. There we go, and once it bottoms out, you just give it a nice tight turn. And now that's not going anywhere and you have the logo facing you. So I actually have one of the original Throtl shift knobs. So I have the original collar. So if you did purchase a Throtl shift knob in the past, you can actually use the same collar and you can just purchase the shift knob. So there you go. You can use your favorite shift knob from Throtl with this collar, but I want to try one of the new ones. So this is an aluminum knob. Feels a little heavy. So let me try one of the Delrin ones. This is the long one. Wow, this is so long though.
That's what she said.
It feels like it has so much leverage I might rip the shifter right off the table, but I like the feel. It's cool, but it's very high. Also, the adapter added a little bit of height, so as you can see, there's a little gap here in the boot to the shift knob. So let me try one of the short ones. Alright, so to be honest, I do notice now the shifter sticks a little bit, and I think that has to do with the stiffening adapter I added. It does clank a little bit. I wonder if I lubed it up a little, if that would make a difference. Also, it's making a clicking up here in 5th gear. But the shift knob itself feels nice. It does feel high though. I think I just have to get used to it being a little high. And I want to try the metal one. But I think the metal one's going to be too heavy for just this little table setup. And it's still, I mean, it's still a light feeling shifter. And I mean, this is just plastic. The aluminum just might be too heavy. But I think that looks really cool. Like, it looks sick. Actually, yeah, I'm gonna have to open this up and take a look, but actually, to be honest, this metal one feels the best. This one feels the best. Let me try the long one. Yeah, I think the long one, it feels good.
That's what she said. Yeah.
But I think the weight, it's just too heavy. It's putting a lot of leverage on the shifter, and it feels like I might rip it out of the table. I don't want to damage the shifter. This isn't an expensive shifter. It's a $50 shifting mechanism, so I don't know if it can withstand that, but I think this is the winner. I think this is the best shift knob for this setup. Because it's not plastic, it feels more expensive. It feels like I'm shifting more like a real car. Alright, so I've got the wheel and the shifter all set up. I also took this back apart and lubed it up, and it seems to be working much nicer now. So I'm gonna go ahead, queue up a game, and let's test this shifter. Alright, wow. I really like the feel of this shift knob. I'm in one of my favorite cars to drive around in Forza right now, the Hoonigan Escort. I think it's an Escort. Yeah, it feels like I'm in a car. Like, this shift knob really feels like professional, I guess. It doesn't feel like a toy anymore. The stock shift knob really felt kiddie, like it felt like Toys R Us. This feels like a proper shift knob because, well, it is. I know I'm shifting like shit, but I just want to move the shifter, really get a feel for it. The little stiffener that I added in, I feel like it's making the shifter more notchy, but I don't think it's actually making it feel that much stiffer. I don't think it's really adding a lot more resistance. There's definitely a little more resistance in the shift, but it's more, it has this like notchy quality. It's definitely an improvement, but not as much of an improvement as I think I was expecting. Whoop. Almost flew off the road there. But this is definitely an improved experience, I'd say. Also, there's more shifter here, especially with this new throttle shift knob. So there's more to grip. There's more grip options. I feel like the only way to hold the original shift knob was like on the top because it's just such a small little ball. But this, even though this is the short shift knob, it still has a nice side grip as well as a top grip. I'm gonna actually switch back to the Delrin one, and I just want to get a comparison and see how it does against the aluminum one now that I've driven with it a little bit. Oof. Alright, and I'm gonna change the shift knob real quick. Wow, that was quick. Having them all on this throttle collar really makes it easy changing your shift knob out. Alright. Alright, this Delrin one, it's lighter. It makes the shifts, I think, actually a little quicker because it's so light, and I don't have to be as gentle with it because the weight of the aluminum one really adds a heftiness to the shift over this Delrin one. And like I said, this is kind of a cheaper shifter when you compare it to like other shifters, other simulator shifters. This isn't a very expensive one. It retails for like 50 bucks. So the material, I'm not that confident in it, but it's never let me down. With that being said, this shift knob I think matches the shifter a little better. It does feel a little more like a toy now than a professional shifter, but it has all the nice grippiness. And like I said, it's very light. So my shifts are light and quick. I really like both shift knobs. I'm actually having a hard time deciding which one I like better, but I think I'm leaning towards the aluminum one just because I like the feel of it. I think actually the downward one might be a little more suited to the whole setup, just because like I said, this is not an expensive shifter. The stiffening modification I did to the shifter really didn't stiffen it up as much as I'd liked, and the weight of the aluminum one kind of negates any extra resistance that you get from the mod. But I don't know. It's very borderline. I don't know. I like both shifters, but I think I'm gonna keep the aluminum one. I'll ask Evan. Maybe he'll let me keep both, and I can kind of switch in between the two. Both the shift knob adapter and the shift resistance modification, I think they're both worth it. They were both pretty cheap. I think around $10 each. I'll put links below if you guys are interested in looking these parts up for yourself. Considering how cheap this simulator setup is from Logitech, I think it's worth getting both modifications. It does make a difference, but not completely necessary. I think you'll do just fine without them. Of the two modifications, I think the shift knob adapter paired with a nice shift knob, especially the throttle shift knob, I think is the better value. It made the most change for me. So if you're interested in trying a throttle shift knob either on your car or on your Logitech shifter, all these shifters that I showed in the video are available on throtl.com. I'll put a link below. I'm not just saying this to promote throttle, but I really do like the shifter and the shift knob, and it did make a difference for me, having a nice shift knob. So whether you choose the throttle one or a different one that you prefer, I really do think that if you drive manual cars on a daily basis like myself, changing the shift knob out to an actual shift knob does make a big difference in the feel of the Logitech shifter. So if you're looking to improve your experience with the Logitech setup in Forza Horizon or any other game using the Logitech G920 and the shifter, I think it's worth upgrading to the shift knob adapter and a nice shift knob. Thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And if you have subscribed to the channel, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.